U.S.-Iran escalation. What it means for government, small businesses, and nonprofits. Right now, over the past several days, headlines from CNBC, the New York Times, the Washington Post, and the Associated Press have all pointed to the same alarming reality. The United States is actively weighing military and strategic options against Iran. This isn't just another foreign policy story. A U.S.-Iran escalation has immediate consequences for federal budgets and emergency powers, small business costs and supply chains, nonprofits delivering humanitarian and refugee services. Today, we're breaking down what's happening, why it matters, and how quickly the impacts could be felt at home. What's driving the escalation? According to multiple reports, Iran is facing widespread internal unrest. U.S. intelligence has warned of regional instability. The administration is reviewing military strike options, sanctions expansion, and naval enforcement. Even without open conflict, escalation triggers preemptive government action. Military readiness increases. Diplomatic channels narrow, financial and trade systems brace for disruption. History shows us something important here. Markets, agencies, and institutions react before missiles ever fly. Impact on the U.S. government. For the federal government, escalation with Iran affects three critical areas immediately. 1. Defense spending and military readiness. Rapid shifts toward defense and intelligence funding. Emergency reallocations inside DoD and DHS, acceleration of contracts for logistics, surveillance, and cybersecurity. This often happens outside the normal budget cycle, reducing congressional flexibility elsewhere. 1. Emergency authorities and sanctions. Expansion of executive powers under national emergency statutes. New or intensified sanctions affecting banking, shipping, and energy markets. Increased enforcement costs across Treasury, State, and Commerce. 1. Congressional oversight and war powers. Renewed debates over the War Powers Resolution. Heightened oversight hearings. Political risk if conflict escalates without congressional authorization. Federal priorities shift fast, and everything else competes for what's left. Impact on small businesses. Small businesses often feel international crises first and hardest. Fuel and energy costs. Oil prices respond immediately to Middle East tension. Transportation, delivery, agriculture, and manufacturing costs rise. Utility prices increase for energy-intensive operations. Even small price swings can wipe out already thin margins. Supply chain disruptions. Shipping routes through the Strait of Hormuz are critical to global trade. Insurance premiums for cargo and shipping spike. Delays ripple across retail, construction, and food supply chains. Insurance and risk exposure. Business interruption. Insurance becomes more expensive. International contracts face force majeure risks. Credit and financing tighten during geopolitical uncertainty. For small businesses, this is about cash flow, predictability, and survival. Impact on nonprofits. Nonprofits sit at the intersection of policy decisions and human consequences. Humanitarian aid and relief, increased need for emergency assistance abroad, higher demand for disaster response, food aid, and medical support, competition for limited federal and philanthropic dollars, refugee and asylum services, potential spikes in displacement from the region. Increased pressure on resettlement agencies and legal aid organizations, longer processing times and strained support systems. Grant reallocations. Government funders may redirect grants toward emergency response. International aid dollars often come from programs originally meant for development, education, or health. Domestic nonprofits may lose funding indirectly. Nonprofits often face increased demand at the exact moment funding becomes less predictable. Why the effects are immediate. 1. Key point to understand. This isn't about what happens months from now. Markets price risk instantly. Agencies act preemptively. Insurers, lenders, and suppliers adjust overnight. Budgets, contracts, and grant decisions are affected before the public sees visible conflict. This is why geopolitical escalation is not an abstract issue. It's a real-time operational risk. What to watch next? As this situation develops, watch for emergency funding requests from the administration, new sanctions or enforcement actions, energy price volatility, federal grant and contract reprioritization. For governments, businesses, and nonprofits alike, the lesson is the same. Preparedness matters more than prediction. Understanding how global events translate into domestic financial and operational impacts is no longer optional. It's essential.